Key to All of This with Tim and Dylan. We're back for another episode, and this week we want to talk about the next Star Wars movie that's going to be coming out, which is Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins. But before we get into this, I want to let everyone know Tim and I have some beautiful Star Wars themed shirts at shop.tktaot.com. We have our Hello There shirt. Number one, Hello There shirt.
Hello there.
We have our Omega shirt.
Omega.
And we have our Jar Jar's the Key to All of This shirt, which is how we came up with the name for this show. Because George Lucas once told us, Jar Jar's the key to all of this. Tim, can you do an impression for me?
Jar Jar's the key to all of this. I don't know why he's like an old prospector, but, you know. He's just got that, like, soft, tenor, gravelly kind of voice. He's the key to all of this.
Yeah, there's gold in them hills.
Strategery.
But here we are. We're back. Last week we had a great conversation about Dark Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. But that's something that could have been. Let's talk about something that could have will. Rogue Squadron.
That was like translated into like Japanese and then translated back into English.
Yeah, that I know too many languages. I know how to translate languages. I don't understand the languages, but I know how to translate from language to language.
Hey, let's could have will go there.
Oh, and yup. So we have a new movie that's going to be coming out, Rogue Squadron. Patty Jenkins, this is our first movie kind of that we've been hinted about that's going to happen. And I'm going to assume it's going to happen right after Return of the Jedi.
I'm not sure, because she said it takes a lot from, she said, the games and the books in an interview. And the games do go after Return of the Jedi, but they also like line up with some of the plot of the original trilogy. Like it starts off in like Mos Eisley, and
that's perfect.
Yeah, so I think it might actually deliver on both of those like tantalizing prospects of seeing the original trilogy through the eyes of a squadron, and then going
would you say
and seeing
old prospects?
I would say old prospect. Key to all of this is gold. And so I think it's going to be...
Sorry.
No need to apologize. This will all be edited out anyway.
I'm not sorry.
No, now it's back
Vader.
In.
No, I'm Vader.
Now I am Vader. But you have to put on a helmet first, or else it doesn't count. So I think that like it could, and also like the books deal with like the fall of Coruscant, at least that first X-Wing series book. Like I don't know, it's like it could be so much. So I'm really hopeful that we get to see a lot.
It depends. Like everything really matters depending on what books Patty is referring to.
Yes.
Because I've got a star-studded, Star Wars cast, not actor cast, but I have a star-studded character cast that I would love to see in this movie.
Lay it on me.
And this dives into the books, the comic books, and the video games. So, Matt Greenberg, Snap Wexley. He's from multiple J.J. Abrams shows.
Yeah.
His mother, so Temin or Snap, his mother in Star Wars Aftermath, Nora Wexley leaves the Battle of Endor to continue the fight. I would love to see Nora Wexley with a young Temin young Snap Wexley
Mm-hmm.
at her side, and we get Mr. Bones, or he had he reprogrammed a CIS droid, Roger, and covered him in bones to be like his murder assailant to help him through things. So, Nora Wexley. Then we get Wedge Antilles. You gotta.
Yeah.
He shows up again in Revenge of the New Skywalker.
Oh, the Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Return of the Skywalker.
Revenge
of the Skywalker.
of the Hope of New Skywalker.
We get Wedge. Wedge isn't done fighting. I mean,
No.
Why would he show up in Rise of Skywalker if he's retired? He's still fighting. Then we get Shara Bay, Poe Dameron's mom,
Mm-hmm.
who in the comic books also is leaving like Endor to continue the fight. Oh, let me say, I've got one more person, but let me say one more good person. Shriv Surgav,
Yes.
from the Battlefront series.
Shriv.
The one character, Shriv or Shriv, I assume it's Shriv. I don't remember.
I think we're thinking of Sheev Palpatine. I think it's Shriv. Yeah.
Shriv.
Yeah.
The Durin.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he was my favorite character from the Battlefront 2 story arc.
Mm-hmm.
The whole campaign, awesome. I would love to see him in live action. But here's who I want as the villain. And I think it kind of sucks because we already got this person as the villain in one of the video games. But I want Iden Versio to be one of the lead villains in Rogue Squadron, because I want this movie to take place right after Return of the Jedi. I love that The Mandalorian took place right there, because we have a good 20-ish years,
Mm-hmm.
20 to 30 years in between those movies, where we can tell a lot of stories of how the hell did all this good stuff go wrong. And I think Rogue Squadron is the perfect way to dive in with, like, boots to the ground. Where did this go wrong?
Yeah, I think having Iden in there would be great. You know, she has that turn where she turns good, but she could very well go back to her roots. You know,
And she doesn't turn good for a while.
yeah.
I mean, she's in a much older age in the video game where she becomes good. So seeing her in her prime as, like, kind of a tool for the Empire, you know, and also we teased on this a little bit in The Mandalorian of Cinder, Operation Cinder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bill Burr, you know, he touches on this. Like, Cinder is when they're burning down Endor. You know, this is like the Empire is defeated, but they're not done. Sure, they think that Palpatine's still alive, and there's a lot of, like, kind of like dummies running around of Palpatine's face saying, like, here's your next order. And he kind of is dead, but, like, the Empire's not done.
Yeah, they're far from over. And another possible villain is Gideon Hask from the same video game. He is the one who remained loyal to the Empire.
Oh, yeah.
Through thick and thin, even through Operation Cinder. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that interim time of, like, where did the like First Order come from, and how were they allowed to rise so not so quickly, but, you know, rise completely untested against you know, a failing republic.
Yeah. And with this too this is like the first movie where you can genuinely not put Jedi in it. And it makes sense. I mean, Luke at this point is the only one we know. going back to 4, 5, and 6. I mean, Luke is the only person we know as a Jedi, and at this point, people think the Empire's dead. People don't really know about Luke Skywalker. I mean, if Han Solo is still trying to convince people in Episode 7 that Luke Skywalker is a real entity and it exists, I mean, people just don't trust that the Jedi are things.
Yeah.
And so this is a great way to do a Star Wars movie where you don't have to force, no pun intended, the Force or Jedi, because you know what? I'm super excited for a full space battle between people with no lightsabers or the Force.
Yeah, I think also showing, I mean, if they had like a ship like the Ghost, or like a ship where, they live on that ship, and showing like the cramped quarters of it, what's it like to be in the military for a prolonged period of time, fighting battle after battle after battle. And hopefully we get to see some familiar planets and explore some new ones. And we've never really had just an exclusively battle in a space battle movie, so that would be amazing.
Yeah, because with Rogue One, we got boots to the ground battle. This is the first Star Wars movie that's an actual war movie. And with Rogue Squadron, this is our first time to get a Star Wars movie that's an actual nothing but dogfight movie. Like dogfight war movie. I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to do just an incredible one-off, or if they want to turn it into a trilogy, they can. Like, they've got the tools for it, and I think a lot of Star Wars fans at this point don't need the Force. We don't need a lightsaber. We're just kind of invested in the galaxy and the universe that they've created.
Yeah. And just to see it from like, your entry point is that you relate to these normal people who don't have powers, or not wizards. These are the people who are fighting for personal reasons, not necessarily saving the galaxy, but maybe it's saving their family,
Yeah, and maybe it's time for Star Wars to take a break from that. Let's all try to get people invested more, because we're all people who could go to war, or we're all people who would try to protect our family or whatever. I can't throw Senate seats at you when I'm upset. And
You've tried, though. It's really, you got to stop it.
And the one time that you drove your car into a swamp, I couldn't pick it up. And then I was on your shoulders, and we're running through the forest, and
there's no
backflips
vines
and stuff.
Yeah. You broke my back. I'm in a wheelchair right now.
Yeah. No, you're not.
I'm not. Wow. Thanks, Bob.
Wait.
I can walk?
No, you're not.
Now I am Vader.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I understand that, like, having, nobody be the Harry Potter of the galaxy, it sets up the real life stakes of, like, they can't use the Force. They have to be really good or they're going to die. So we saw, like, we've seen it time and time again, like, how many people just die in these space battles. Like, they're pretty brutal.
Yeah. And then with that, with every Star Wars movie we've seen where there's a space battle, there's also those people who don't die. And that's what we're going to get. We're going to get the elite of just people who get it, people who are born for this. And that's just going to be super fun to watch. And I'm fine with no Force. I'm fine with no lightsabers. Cool with it.
Yeah, me too. The less of that, the better for this.
That is it for Rogue Squadron. We would love to know what everyone's thinking with this, because no information has been brought to us at all. We're just kind of speculating on what Patty Jenkins is going to do. But join us next time when Tim and I talk about Jabba's palace.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you.
Now I am Vader.